assure me that since Simon's down in Boulders, folks, this is Chris Wyatt reporting from South Africa. Hello, folks, and welcome back to Chris Wyatt Reports. This is Chris live in central Pennsylvania. It is Wednesday, July 3rd, 2024. One day from America's Independence Day, our 248 years of existence. Wow. Nearly 2.5 centuries. Exciting stuff, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the program as we get started here. Lots happening at this hour. Chaos in Gauteng province in South Africa, where the African National Congress, a party that polled just 34% in the recent elections, is acting like they are the kingmakers in a province and forming a government without the major second largest party. Well, there you go, folks. Let me say hello to everybody in the chat. We'll get into the news. We do have news about the USA, about Africa, about South Africa once again. As always, pleasure to have you join me once again from around the world, but lots of Safas in the conversation. 68 here to start the program off. That's tending to become the trend now, with a group of people joining here approaching 70 to 80 people when we start. That's nice. It used to be 10 to 15. Thank you all for joining us. Val Cooper's here, Clive Streak, Myra Page, Brian Lawrenson, Teresa, Val Cooper. Already said Val. Drop in a Bucket is here. Mark Purchase, welcome once again. Gus is back. Debbie Moray, Ernst Ulrich Fenter. It's me again. It's you again. And Ernst Pierre Orban is back again. Just in from Budapest. Sedgefields here, James Bowie. PK likes the video. Yes, that's Giselle with Für uns Mensa Afrikaans is uns Weise. Yeah, so brilliant song, beautiful stuff by her. And Sue Walsh, welcome to you. The Rand is tanking. I'm not at all surprised. Allison Johnson, thank you for the 4th of July greetings, as well as Debbie. Thank you so much for that. Yeah, it's a big day. I have an article coming out in the local paper, well, a nearby paper, I should say. Not local, but it's local in the general sense. A lot more local than South Africa. I had 2 articles published while I was gone, one for Memorial Day, and then the second one for D-Day on June 6th. The paper published both of them. They're publishing my story now for Independence Day, which is very kind of them. I write for the local paper just of interest for people who care about what's going on in America. Beautiful day this morning. Misfortune for me, I took my car in last night to get the tires replaced, which I'd already paid for, including the purchase of the tires, the delivery, the removal and disposal of the old tires, the balancing, the mounting, the balancing, and the entire spiel. Last night, the gentleman put the socket on the lugs, and it couldn't get a fit. He kept trying different sizes, and then he finally said, well, they're swollen because they're capped ones. They're chrome capped, and unfortunately, they're not simply lug nuts coming out. These go in instead of coming out and screwing on top. So what happened is he said he can't do it. He stripped one. He said, I can't do it. So my entire afternoon and evening was wasted going over there to do this. So I came back last night and just missed the local mechanics repair shop where I have the car inspected and serviced every year. They left at 6:30 and I got there at like 6:28, so nothing could be done. Went by this morning and took the car, and he said, yeah, we can do it. He probably doesn't have a full set of tools with the alternate sizes. We have those, and that's probably what happened last time. It probably already swelled last year, but different than their standard size because they're capped instead of solid chrome. Anyway, or a chrome mixture. So what happened is, bottom line is I have to get new ones. So I have 20 lug nuts on 4 tires, but I have 4 locked lugs. So initially he told me it's going to be $300, just short of 6,000 Rand, because my lugs are swollen. Ouch, that was a painful discovery this morning. I do get a military discount. If I pay by check instead of a credit card, it'll be a little cheaper. But on top of that, they're only going to have to replace 16 because the lugs are steel, so those haven't swollen. So there you go. So only 16, not 20. That'll cut the cost down. But each of these is $10 a piece. Ouch. The good news is they can get it done today, which is shocking, given the place is completely full. There's nowhere to park at this mechanic shop because every parking space was full. The bays were full because it's the 4th of July and people are traveling. And so they're pretty packed with people who are prepping their cars for the travel, and also for people who break down en route from one place to another, because Pennsylvania is a big transit point for people coming from north, going south, and vice versa. So, yeah, anyway, so it's going to cost me probably $300, 6,000 Rand to get my lug nuts repaired. Wow. Well, when you got a problem with your nuts, you got a problem with your nuts. So I've got a problem with my nuts. Ouch, ouch, ouch. So that goes on top of what it cost to buy the tires. So there you go. All right. Well, on top of that, I already know that the car needs new shock absorbers, or maybe something needs to be adjusted, because it's like driving through freaking a washboard gravel road when I go across bumps. It just so that's going to have to be done too. But that's not urgent anyway. So there we go. All right. So let's see what else we got here in the chat. USA is a child compared to South Africa. No, James, South Africa's only been a country since 1960. It's only been in existence as a territory since 1910. So no. And as far as settlements, South Africa was only settled in 1652 by those from Europe, by the Bantus about 1,000 years before. So if you're going with the Bantu arrival, then yeah, sure, it's old. If you're going with Europeans, 1652, America was settled in 1607. And if you go back before that, 1519, Florida was settled by the Spanish. So we've got you beat there too. My ancestors came to Jamestown in 1621, so I got all of you beat in South Africa, unless you happen to be of Nguni origin. You got me beat. Yes, the Ram was doing good under the announcement. That after the announcement of the cabinet, the Ram it tanked. Yep, no doubt. Scared international investment should. You're so lucky they do it all in one. We have to pay separately for wheel balancing alignment. Well, alignment's a separate charge. That's $70. Balancing is part of the package, but it's Debbie. So we have Costco, big discount warehouse, which is all over the country. It used to be known as the Price Club when it was first founded decades ago. We have Costco, we have Sam's Club, which is a subsidiary of Walmart, and then we also have BJ's, which is another one of these big discount warehouses. All of them sell tires. All of them mount and balance the tires. They also fill your tires with air free of charge. If you go there, if there's a puncture, they repair it free of charge, all of that. But you've got to go to their warehouse. You can't just do it anywhere. So that's all part of the service. So it's $20 to mount and balance the tires per tire. So it's yeah, $10. That's so it's what $10 is going to be $190. So it's 400 Rand per tire. 400 Rand per tire. So 1,600 Rand to balance and mount them. But that's all part of the deal. So, but the nice thing about this is that with all the other inflation, the cost of my tires is actually pretty much almost what I paid 6 years ago when I put tires on the car. So yeah, all things being equal, given what groceries cost, what energy costs, what air travel costs, the inflation in tires thankfully isn't there. Now there was a sale, but that isn't the reason why they're less expensive. So anyway, I'm not thrilled about paying it, but there's two things you do never scrimp on. Never scrimp on tires. Never scrimp on brakes. Always make sure your brakes and your tires work. You could throw a rod in your engine. It's going to cost you a fortune, but the car's just going to stop. It's just going to and roll off the road, and you stop safely. But if your tires are bald and you take a turn, you kill people, including yourself, and total your car. If your brakes fail, you kill people, including yourself, and total your car. So take care of those two things at a minimum. Yeah, it is bloody expensive. Hey, Marilyn, how's it going? Servus, says Garrett. And Kuban is here. Welcome to you. Debbie says, we had a new truck that had 2 lugs missing. Now I know why. They're costly. Yeah, they probably stole them. Yep. South Africa probably did better without a government. Yeah, well, that's what I said, PK. What did I say? What analyst told you on the planet that when there was no government announced that things were okay? South Africans were going about their business. Your junk bond status was still junk bond status. Crime was what it always was. People went about their business while the government wasn't announced. There are no ministers in office who can steal, who can undermine your liberty. They're not there. So all things being equal, it was a glass half full. That was my argument all along. Yeah. Lucky it sucks. Yes. Never scrimp on tires and brakes. Yep. Wheel alignment's 300 Rand. That's pretty good. Front wheel alignment 300 Rand. That's pretty darn good. That's $15. I have to pay $70 for that. Larry Amiki says, greetings, Chris. Been following you for a few weeks now, enjoying your analysis events. Well, thank you, Larry. Or where are you at there? You've got like a Texas Lone Star flag there. And how did you find us? I'd like to know, because we're always curious how people find the channel. Yep. I've been doing this for 4 years since I left active duty. So, we've been various times successful, other times, thumb on us from the poo tube. But lately, it's not been there. They've not had the thumb on it. 102 people currently here. Thanks, folks. Be sure to hit the like button. Costs you nothing but a moment of your time. Just 52 of you done it. That means 50. Well, 55 now haven't done it. So
that was easy.
Get busy. Hit that like button. All right. What else? Yes. Yeah, I know. Anyway, so enough of that. Let's get to the news. Things are crazy in Gauteng province, the financial capital of South Africa. Chalco wants to know when Ronaldo will return to YouTube. I'm sure Ronaldo will return to YouTube. I suspect that once he goes through all these lawsuits, which might take a long time, that he'll be vindicated. He should be vindicated, all things being equal. And when he's vindicated, then he'll be back. Now, the question is if he's still in the Democratic Alliance at that stage, and if he's still a member of Parliament, will the DA tell him to ease up or not do social media? And I suspect they will. I suspect that the DA doesn't want any additional attention on Ronaldo, even though he's innocent. So they'll probably tell him he's either you're in Parliament or you're on social media, but you can't do both. But Ronaldo will be back on social media, I suspect. So, unfortunately for Ronaldo, he has, by being forthright and pointing out the things that are hypocritical in South African society, like the Mama Joy situation, he has found some very determined enemies who want to see him destroyed. And these are nasty, nasty people who devote their lives to destroying others, and it's a shame. Have a look at Gauteng. What's going on with Gauteng? It's something just break on News 24. I've been on News 24. There's no stories on Gauteng McKenzie earlier. Nope, still no story. I'll do a search of News 24. I'll just type in Gauteng. Let's see what it says, if anything comes up. It's a complete joke. Entertainers, comedians weigh in. Oh, that's what they're saying. South Africa's entertainers, artists, and comedians have weighed in on DA leader Gauteng McKenzie appointment as Minister of Sports. Some say the move is outright laughable. Others say hope he'll bring about change. Tani Avita Bezuidenhout was one of the first to highlight concerns. She said Gauteng McKenzie as Minister of Arts and Culture probably means a death penalty for soccer losers and culture for colors only. Ouch, that's very unfair. Very unfair. Yeah. Based on his track record of flip-flopping in coalitions, embezzling money from fraudsters, and destroying small towns like Nice, that he cannot be trusted. Ouch. David Scott said that. That's the kiffness. Wow. He described Gauteng McKenzie as snake oil salesman, a demagogue of the highest order who claimed to be a reformed criminal yet keeps displaying behavior that shows otherwise. Time will tell how he performs as sports minister, but the outlook is bleak. Wow, the kiffness. Wow. I don't have much to say about the kiffness. When they were nobodies or near nobodies, I tried to interview them and they blew me off. So, but they went on Ronaldo's channel. They talked to Ronaldo quite a bit, but they wouldn't talk to me. So whatever. I don't have any beef with them. I don't, he does stupid cat videos. I mean, really stupid. His Steve Hofmeyer video was entertaining, and he's done some very entertaining ones. But the cat thing, the obsession with cats was just twisted. Really can't follow that guy. So, also not really a political commentator. So, anyway, what else we got here? The way they're giving the Kiffness all kinds of press here, said he would also do well to find out what happened to the $300 million of COVID relief funds allocated arts ministry that went missing. If he can do that, I might change my opinion of him. Well, good luck with that. It's more than 300 million rand. That's Kiffness. You're way off on your mark there. Anyway, boy, they're slamming Gauteng McKenzie. I don't know why. Look at this cabinet. There are far worse picks than Gauteng McKenzie. It just didn't make any sense that Gauteng McKenzie would go there. So, what else? So, Larry says he's been watching me for a few weeks, but he hasn't commented since I asked. What else? So, we're paying for departments that have no effect. Yes, and you have a bloated cabinet of 32 cabinet ministers. We don't have 32 positions. It's ridiculous. Sneaky Ninja said he should have known better. How can anyone with political ambitions be that obtuse? Makes no sense. Well, Sneaky Ninja, no. This was 16 years ago. Ronaldo had no political ambitions at that time. He was a shock jock. He was a disc jockey. He was a person who was very angry about being denied employment because he was white. And he made a video at a time when people did things like that on YouTube. So I get what you're saying, Sneaky Ninja, but not everybody has the good fortune to have served in uniform for 30 years where you're not allowed to say anything and you're not allowed to do things. So there's no record of you doing anything inappropriate. Yeah. Gauteng apparently is telling Ramaphosa to step down or else he'll expose him. Where are you getting this from, Christo? Can't imagine Gauteng in Blue Lights Brigade, says Athena. Hey, Athena, how's it going? The swearing in was just too painful to watch. I didn't watch it, but I will talk about it here in just a moment. Stupid Idiot wants to do spinning and not the bicycle kind. Huh, okay. All right, well, let's get to the news, folks. I'll be back on at 2 o'clock. I've set up a stream. Panyaza Lesufi will be announcing his cabinet for his minority government. That's right, minority, 34% ANC, acting like the kingmakers. They have no right to form a government there. We'll see what happens. They'll have a plurality, and I suspect there'll soon be a vote of no confidence against Panyaza Lesufi, and he may find himself on the outs. This is a situation where the DA would be smart to team up with MK to make sure that this guy is bounced. Anyway, we're going to cover that shortly. Gauteng apparently, what's this? Can't imagine. Gauteng is, okay. Yeah, no, Sedgefield, you're right about the garden route stuff. So let's get to the news. Joe Biden has congratulated Cyril Ramaphosa. Apparently, Joe traveled to Robben Island in Soweto. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Joe Biden traveled to the island of Robben in Soweto, where he congratulated his buddy, Cyril Ramaphosa, his fellow traveler in the leftist scheme of things. Biden congratulates the Ramaphosa on his reelection and forming the canoe. The story by Peter Fabricius. U.S. President confirmed he'll visit South Africa for the 2025 G20 summit. Somebody needs to tell Joe Biden he won't be president in 2025. Oh, crap. So the G20 summit is in South Africa. I got to go back to South Africa for 2025. Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, man. Now I got to come back to South Africa for the G20 summit. They expressed their shared commitment to advancing the special relationship between the two. Well, there's no special relationship between South Africa and the U.S. We're suckers, and you just take us, rob us blind. President Biden pledged the United States will work closely with the 7th administration on key areas such as economic growth, job creation, social development, and climate change, as well as South Africa's presidency in the G20. South Africa, which isn't a member, they get G20 presidency. What a joke. Laurel and Hardy, there you go. Yeah, there you go. So, the government of national unity has been sworn in. All members are now officially in place. Look, it's Chief Justice Raymond Zondo, the man who never misses a meal. The Chief Justice there swearing in with Paul Mashatile, the corruption-accused deputy president. The new inclusive government of national unity has been sworn in by Chief Justice Raymond Zondo, who presided over proceedings on Wednesday at Parliament in the Cape Town International Convention Center, which, of course, is occurring in the Cape Town International Convention Center, not because it's an ideal location, but because the negligence of the African National Congress in allowing an unauthorized person to wander around Parliament for days on end and torch the building for God knows what reason, destroying historic and iconic building, which to this day has yet to see one moment actual repair. It's been, going on 2.5 years now since he torched the damn thing, and we still haven't seen any action. This is your government in action, folks. The ANC, the party that accomplishes jack fuck all. Yep, fuck all they accomplished. Mark says Gauteng McKenzie is a South African politician, is currently serving. Yeah, we know that. Helen Rich says, maybe sometime in life anyone is deserving of improving himself. I'm not a fan of Gauteng, but I do wish him well. Yeah, I wish him well too. And I don't know what the attacks on him for. If you want to attack people, why don't you go after Angie Motshekga? That's the ministry you should be talking about, Angie Motshekga. What about Blade Nzimande? I've given you my questionable picks for the cabinet. They should be going after all of them, except for Groenewald and Steenhuisen. But yeah, since the burning of Parliament, South African democracy is hopeless thanks to ANC. Correct. Val says, there's always something exciting happening here that draws you to visit our country. Well, come on, Val. We all know why I come. I'm looking for oil, Boermeisie, and Biltong. We all know that. Now it's Droevoort also. I come for the Droevoort, yeah. Yeah. Hey, look, I had a good time in Khayelitsha, so now I'll come for Khayelitsha. Anyway, the cabinet has been sworn in. The Democratic Alliance says no deal with the ANC in Gauteng, and good for them. Lucifi will go ahead and announce this cabinet at 2 o'clock this afternoon, 8 p.m. South African time, and I'll be covering that live right here on the PooTube. Yep, it should be entertaining. There you go. Panyazi Lucifi, look at that big smile there. Yep. Today at 8 p.m., the DA says it will not be part of the Provincial Government of Unity in Gauteng. In a statement today, the DA said following engagements with the ANC, it's declined to take up seats in ANC Congress terms and will not form part of the executive of the Gauteng Government of Unity. DA says it refused to be co-opted into the government as it believes it should be part of a power sharing. And I agree 100%. Those two parties together have over half, and they should take the positions. It should be 6-4, worst case 5-5. But instead, the ANC is going to go with 7-3, and so they can just get stuffed. Footsec, no movement there. Lutulias House gave the green light to Lusufi to form his executive, despite the talks with the DA collapsing. This by Kogetatso Madisa reporting on this. He's given, Lutulias House gave Gauteng Premier Panyazi Lusufi the green light to announce his cabinet that excludes the DA. Yep, at least 7 will be MECs from the ANC. I wonder who the rest will be from. EFF? Gauteng is screwed. Absolutely screwed. And this is the fault of the voters of Gauteng. But Helen Zilla says the Democratic Alliance will not be taken hostage in talks with the executive. And she's right. They shouldn't be. And they should have walked away from the government of national unity because it's going to collapse soon enough anyway. DA Federal Council Chair Helen Zille announced Tuesday that her party and the ANC had not reached an agreement on the composition of the government after two parties deadlocked. Yep. Until now, the ANC has been prepared to offer the DA a maximum of 3 of 10 seats without telling us how many seats they intend to take for themselves and how many they propose to offer other parties. ANC conceded that they had intended to allocate 3 seats to DA and 7 to themselves out of a cabinet of 10. Yep. She criticized moves, saying the allocation fell short of the requirements set out in Clause 16 of their Statement of Intent, which, given that the DA comprises 45% of the government of national unity, they should be getting 45%, not 30%. She's right, and they should have done this at national level too, but the DA is so craven to have their hands on political power that they went ahead and did it anyway. So what are you going to say? Peaky says the people here are stronger than the politicians, and that's what gives me hope. Well, yes. Lusufi is loser number 1, says Boer Outfiltrationist. Yep. Right. He will announce his cabinet at 8 p.m. tonight, according to Fikile Mbalula. Earlier, I suffered through the mind-numbing conversation with the clown himself, Fikile Mbalula, who seemed to think it was entertaining, telling all sorts of jokes, trying to keep the crowd entertained rather than simply tell us what's going on. He finds politics to be a joke in South Africa, and I find Fikile Mbalula to be a joke. So just saying that right up front. He says Panyazi Lusufi will be announcing his plans at 8 o'clock. Well, the disgraced Tembisa Hospital CEO's dubious appointment, yet another corrupt patronage hire with no background checks, a person unqualified to be the head of a hospital. And of course, all of this is what led to the murder, the political assassination of whistleblower Babita Deokaran. Say her name. Babita Deokaran. Say her name, you scumbag ANC politicians who had her rubbed out, whoever's responsible for it. Murdered after taking her daughter to primary school. Tembisa hospital boss Ashley Mtunzi was irregularly appointed, according to the public prosecutor. An investigation revealed that he was installed without even the barest of background checks. And once on the job, he inked dubious supply contracts that saw hundreds of millions of rand flow to fake companies. And as a result, that extraction scheme exposed by Babita Deokaran, showing that he signed tainted medical supply contracts at grossly inflated prices and forged documents. She was assassinated because South Africa doesn't provide security for whistleblowers. Babita Deokaran murdered, gunned down in a hail of bullets in her driveway by these scumbags. Well, let's talk about more crime in South Africa. Overpriced and used. That's what happened with pasteurizing plant equipment for the Estina dairy farm. This is what happens when the government gets involved. They are corrupt. The pasteurizing plant equipment imported for the Estina dairy farm was overpriced and cost more than twice the price of new equipment. A witness testified that person better hide. They're going to wind up dead. A witness testified the equipment declared new at more than 37 million rand was actually worth just 14 million rand. Pasteurizing plant equipment imported for the use of the Estina dairy farm cost more than double what the new equipment was worth, according to the magistrate's court in Pretoria. Not only that, the imported equipment was secondhand and not declared as such. It was sold as new. Revelation came from state witness David Mari, the agricultural information and marketing head at FMB South Africa, who testified that all the customs declaration for the equipment was more than 37.7 million. Brand new equipment would have cost just over 14 million. He was testifying in the case of Gupta associates Kamal Vasram and Salish Indurji, who have pled not guilty, but obviously they must be guilty, selling used equipment to the state dairy. Wow. Well, there you go. More corruption in South Africa, stolen out of the pockets of people. No wonder the country's in the shitter. Well, more corruption. Let's continue with this. This story by Ivan Pujus. Snack packs, red roses, and artists. How the Free State government blew more than 5 million for funerals. The public protector has uncovered gross overspending on the official funeral of Free State MEC Tate Mako's funeral. He's one of the longest serving MECs in the Free State. He died in a car accident in March of 2023. Yeah, sounds like a Zimbabwe car accident. 355,000 rand for artists, 96,000 for mourners accreditation, 70,000 for decor, 59,000 for red roses, 13,000 for draping, and 9,900 to use AstroTurf. That's what the public prosecutor report says the Free State government spent on former education MEC Tate Mako's funeral and memorial service. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Report stated the taxpayers forked over 159,000 for 2,000 snack packs, 95,000 for his tombstone, and 84,900 for his casket. Why does he get a state tombstone? What a bunch of horse manure that is. Our presidents, our former presidents, don't get state-funded tombstones. That's private donations. The only people who get tombstones in our country, and it's a simple slab, is veterans. Veterans are eligible for a tombstone. That's it. That's it. No one else. Why are taxpayers footing the bill for this jackass who clearly helped pilfer money while he was in charge? Unbelievable. Well, Bidvest is selling its banking operations in a shocking move here. Bidvest has announced that it will be restructuring its financial service division, includes putting Bidvest Bank and Fin Global up for sale. A strategic restructuring is going to impact their financial service division, which provides banking-related products and services to South African corporates, businesses, and consumers. The division includes Bidvest Bank and Fin Global, as well as short and long-term insurance products that are sold through Bidvest Insurance, Bidvest Life, and Compendium. Wow. Unbelievable. This is huge. Huge. Bidvest is selling its banking operations. In 2023, Bidvest Bank generated trading profit and operating income of 234 million rand and 219 million rand, respectively. So $500 million in profit, and they're getting rid of it. What's going on at Bidvest? Well, South Africa must be sensible about climate change, says the new Minister of the Environment. Minister for Forestries, Fisheries and Environment, Deon George, from the DA. Well, this is a mixed bag. He's trying to reassure the markets, but also living with the nonsense the DA likes to believe in the green energy revolution. Climate change will be a critical focus for the new Minister of Forestry, Fisheries, and the Environment. Oh, boy. He takes over in the middle of a global climate change, according to Linda Enzer, the parliamentary correspondent. George believes South Africa has to move in the right direction by reducing emissions and respect international protocols, but insists it is not fair to punish us. We are an emerging economy with a lot of complexities, and we must not be pushed around. We have to balance economic growth, jobs, and community upliftment with our need to be a sensible partner in the world as we fight climate change. We're 100% committed to that, but it's a journey for us, and we're only able to move at a pace that we're capable of moving at, bearing in mind the constraints that we have. Well, that's a more reasonable approach to it, but also shows that Deon George believes in the cult of climate change. Shame, but the DA is left. They love climate change. Rwanda heads to the polls. This is an interesting development with two optimistic candidates and a very likely winner. Yep. Rwanda goes to the polls with three names on the ballot. One of them has never seen less than 90% of the vote, and of course that is Paul Kagame. Frank Habineza, 47-year-old candidate for Rwanda's Democratic Green Party, told journalists that after 2 years of preparations, he was a hopeful for a good showing in the July 15th elections. It'll be his first time on the ballot. His party did contest in 2018 when it won 2 seats in Parliament. Former journalist and now independent candidate Philippe Mapimana, 54, will be on the ballot again after a 2017 race in which he attracted less than 1% of the vote. So, 66-year-old Paul Kagame wants to extend his 23 years ruling Rwanda. Yeah, that's not exactly the path of democracy there. William Ruto must go. So say protesters in Kenya, feeling their oats after Ruto capitulated on the tax increases, and now they're feeling strong. Dozens have been killed in anti-tax demonstrations in Kenya. Kenya's experienced significant unrest due to the anti-tax demonstration, and that has led to the dozens of deaths and hundreds of injuries. Despite William Ruto's decision not to sign the controversial finance bill into law, activists continue to protest, demanding his unconditional resignation. The Kenya National Commission on Human Rights reported that the protests have resulted in 39 deaths, 361 injuries, and numerous cases of excessive force by law enforcement. Things are not going well in Kenya, folks, and President Ruto may not survive this. Meanwhile, in the conflict ignored and disregarded by the demonically possessed African National Congress in its bankrupt foreign policy, Sudan. The militia opens a new front. As we reported yesterday, at least 62,000 people fled after the RSF attacked the state of Sennar. Fighters from Sudan's paramilitary turned rebel rapid support forces ransacked and looted towns, markets, and homes in the southeastern agricultural state of Sennar, opening up a new front as aid groups warn of an impending famine. Wow, many of these people have been displaced for the second or third time in this conflict. NATO will open an office in Kiev. Wow, this is utter nonsense here. NATO to establish Kiev post and seeks Trump-proof Ukraine aid. The move is among changes that aim to safeguard Europe amid European right-wing surge. So this is a disgraceful article. Michael Gordon, you are a shameful propagandist. The move is to safeguard Europe amid right-wing surge. So you're implying that Europe is in jeopardy from right-wing politicians when it's not. It's in jeopardy from left-wing politicians who've undermined the safety and security and public safety in Europe by allowing the mass immigration of people who have no business in Europe whatsoever, and by fueling a conflict in Ukraine, which clearly Michael Gordon for the Wall Street Journal supports this proxy war of Joe Biden and Jens Stoltenberg in Ukraine. Said NATO will station a senior civilian official in Kiev among a raft of new measures designed to shore up long-term support for the second most corrupt country in Europe, Ukraine. And they're expected to announce a summit in Washington this week. Steps seek to buttress Ukraine's prospects to eventually join the alliance without offering it membership, and they come amid a right-wing political surge across Europe and the growing possibility that former President Donald Trump could return to the White House and reduce American support for Ukraine. And we could only pray for such an action, for this money to quit being pissed down the drain and poured into a war to hide Joe Biden's crimes in Ukraine. Unbelievable. There aren't enough Ukrainian men and women that can die on behalf of Joe Biden and Jens Stoltenberg. French parties are now cooperating and colluding to get the right political side out of office. Leftist Alliance and party of President Emmanuel Macron withdrew almost all their third-place candidates, so there are fewer candidates to split the vote so that they can beat the right. Opponents of Marine Le Pen agreed to try to pull their voter support against candidates of her right party in the final round of French elections on Sunday, lowering the odds that it will win enough seats to control the French parliament. A leftist alliance called the New Popular Front and a bloc led by President Macron withdrew their third-party candidates from races in 221 districts, according to a tally by French daily Le Monde, accounting for nearly 90% of the districts in a three-way race. So in virtually every place where there were three candidates, the leftists have now removed. One of them is gone. They've given up a chance to win the seat so that the leftists can combine their vote to defeat the right-wing party. This is collusion to undermine democracy is what's going on here. Unbelievable. Well, I hope Biden won't resign. I want to see him beat. Speaking of being beaten, Jack Smith and his demonic lunatics at the Department of Justice continue. Despite the fact that Donald Trump is going to win the election, they intend to continue their erroneous, illegitimate, immoral, illegal campaign against Donald Trump. The Justice Department plans to pursue Trump cases past the election day, even when he wins. If Trump is elected president, the finish line for prosecutors is Inauguration Day, not Election Day. Wow, look at this demonic lunatic right there. Justice Department officials plan to pursue criminal cases against Donald Trump past Election Day, even if he wins, under the belief that department rules against charging and prosecuting a sitting president would not kick in until Inauguration Day, according to people familiar. That approach may become more consequential given this week's Supreme Court ruling on presidential immunity, which probably will lead to further delays in Trump's election interference trial and cases. Wow, unbelievable. The Department of Injustice has been weaponized against Americans, and this is proof of it right here. They don't care about justice. They care about getting Trump. It's about getting Trump. That's all it's about. It's not about justice. It's not about what's right, what's wrong, what's moral, what's legal, what's illegal. It's about getting Trump. It's like the movie Get Shorty. Unbelievable. Well, Joe Biden apparently is privately, the media now are leaking all kinds of things to get Biden to resign. And this is the latest. CNN with a scoop says that Joe Biden has privately acknowledged that the next few days are critical. Duh. Biden has privately acknowledged the next stretch of days are critical for whether he can save his election. President Biden has privately acknowledged the next stretch of days are critical to whether he can save his re-election bid, making it clear to an ally Tuesday he understood what would prompt him to accept it's just not working. He sees the moment. He's clear-eyed. There's no ambiguity for the president. I'm sorry. Are you talking about Joe Biden? He sees the moment. He's clear-eyed. The dude hasn't been clear-eyed in 40 years. He has no ambiguity. Joe Biden is all about ambiguity, folks. Are you serious? Are you serious? Give me a freaking break. Tom Fenton is hearing that Joe Biden is going to resign next week. Whoa. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Can you believe this? Wow. Unbelievable. Well, Biden's team is scrambling as Democrats are trying to contain defections. Leading Democrats have lent legitimacy to questions about the president's mental acuity and made clear that the matter of his stepping aside is far from settled. President Biden and his advisors rushed to stem the first serious defections inside the Democratic Party since his shaky debate last week. I mean, honestly, what the hell is wrong with the Democrats? You put this moronic piece of wood, fossilized wood, petrified wood, as a candidate in 2020 and stole an election because you defrauded the people of the truth. That's right. You got yourself a win by lying to people about Rona. And you did that with him. And you've stood behind this petrified piece of wood the whole time. And it took this debate performance, not falling downstairs, not standing around, not being able to answer questions, unable to even work more than 25 minutes in a stretch. It took 3 years before you finally realized this. I think the fix was in all along. They intended. And as I said, I thought they were going to broker the convention and come up with another candidate and dump him. But man, unbelievable. Unbelievable. It took Democrats this long. I don't buy that. Well, Democratic unity is cracking, according to the Wall Street Journal, in the wake of his debate performance. Representative Lloyd Doggett, who cares, of Texas, calls on him to leave the race while other Democrats urge him to take a hard look at his future. I think Joe Biden should have taken a hard look at his future in 1972 when he first entered politics on a lie. He's a piece of human feces and nothing else. The United States Interior Department has given the green light for a major offshore wind project in New Jersey to kill birds. Project involves 195 wind turbines that will be supported by 10 offshore substations. Department of Interior announced its approval of large-scale offshore wind turbine project in New Jersey. They said that the Atlantic Shores South project will be located 8 miles from the Jersey Shore and involve construction of 195 wind turbines that will be supported by 10 offshore substations. The project will consist of 2 wind farms that will have capacity to generate 2,800 megawatts or 2.8 gigawatts of electricity that can power up to 1 million homes. That's amazing. 9 projects will generate a total of 13 gigawatts of offshore wind-generated energy, enough to power 5 million homes. Wow. Now, that's amazing. Green energy. Wow. Unfortunately, in the announcing of the green energy, now another source of green energy isn't green, as we find out from environmental wackos who want us all to live in caves and freeze to death. Yes, that's right. Noise from offshore wind turbines may lead to whale extinction, according to environmental wackos. Continuous operational noise will disturb many species of fish, marine mammals, and even humans. Imagine living amid noise as loud as a rock concert all day, every day. Environmentalists say that's exactly what will happen to all sea creatures, from fish to whales to clams, in the waters around the massive offshore wind farms planned for the eastern coast of the United States. Offshore wind farms create airborne, underwater, and seabed noise vibrations. So, the left is telling us to go to alternative green energy. So we go to green energy, and then the left says it's not green energy. They did this with natural gas. Natural gas is clean. We should be burning natural gas for electricity, not coal. Yes, natural gas. And then as soon as we switch over 2/3 of our fleet to natural gas, well, natural gas is a carbon-emitting, polluting technology. Oh, my goodness. Well, look, it's in the ocean, Sean. The wind's always blowing there. Well, the Food and Drug Administration is banning BVO. No, those are not undergarments. BVO, an additive found in some fruity sodas and sports drinks. Brominated vegetable oil. What the hell is brominated vegetable oil? Has potential adverse effects in humans. You think? The Food and Drug Administration has decided to revoke the authorization for the use of a stabilizer for fruity and citrus-flavored food and drinks beverages known as brominated vegetable oil for being unsafe. The agency concluded the intended use of BVO in food is no longer considered safe. Well, why was it ever considered safe? Why did you ever let them put it in our food, you morons? Now it's not safe. How many people's endocrine systems have been violated or compromised by your poor decisions? This is why you can't trust government, folks. They are just dishonest. Freedom Caucus leader, the man who succeeded my representative Scott Perry as the leader of the Freedom Caucus, is out on his ear. Short-term Congressman Bob Good lost to Trump-backed challenger John McGuire. And there will be a recount in Virginia. Representative Bob Good, chairman of the staunchly conservative House Freedom Caucus, lost his primary to Trump-backed Virginia State Senator John McGuire. The Virginia Department of Elections announced on July 2nd after 2 weeks of watching the vote. McGuire pulled off the upset by 374 votes on the 18 June GOP primary in Virginia's 5th congressional district. Mr. Good is the first Republican House incumbent and second House member overall to go down to a non-incumbent primary challenger this year. A recount is likely. We're going to have a full recount. We're going to have a full investigation, he said on Steve Bannon's War Room podcast. Mr. McGuire, former Navy SEAL, declared victory at his watch party in Lynchburg, Virginia, shortly after midnight on June 18th, despite the election being too close to call. The contentious primary battle had been largely defined by loyalty to former President Trump. Mr. Good initially endorsed Ron DeSantis before flipping to support Trump, and Trump says, no, thank you. No, thank you. Oh my goodness. So McGuire is winning that race. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to tell you about something now that is morally incorrect and something that's done to punish American consumers. And this is what the government does to manipulate the financial markets. You ready for this? Green energy. How many birds are dead? Exactly. And how many rare earth elements were dug out of mountainsides and water tables and environmental damage done as a consequence of that as well? Yes. Dreon says, I saw on another podcast that Biden's campaign for district attorney, he ran on protecting old people against elder abuse. Oh, Bo Biden. Okay, gotcha. It's BEAU. Sorry, you threw me off of that. Yeah. Yes, we do put illegal immigrants in hotels because leftists are running those jurisdictions. The elephant in the room is who was really running the U.S. Well, it's not Joe Biden, that's for sure. Ladies and gentlemen, the Federal Reserve is paying banks 5.4% annual interest rates to keep money out of circulation, to stifle lending, to hamper our economy, to satisfy Joe Biden so he can lower inflation, so he can be president again. Unbelievable. The Federal Reserve has paid banks and mutual funds $400 billion in 2 years. Okay, so $400 billion of debt. They have paid $400 billion to banks, making them profitable, at our expense as taxpayers, burying us in debt for what? Yeah, PFAS is not what was banned. It was BVO. The banking industry has benefited from the Federal Reserve's measures to control inflation. Over the past 2 years, the U.S. Central Bank has paid out more than $400 billion to banks and money market funds in interest payments and other transactions meant to curb lending to slow inflation. Wow. After the rate hike, by the way, it was the Federal Reserve that raised these rate hikes that pushed up the cost of mortgages and made cars more expensive for consumers. They're the ones who did that. And then, in order to counter their measures and slow inflation down, they gave banks an incentive to keep trillions of dollars in the bank and earn interest. So in order to make $400 billion in interest, how many trillions of dollars were taken out of the economy from banks that weren't made available to businesses and entrepreneurs and home buyers? How much money was parked in those banks to get $400 billion? At 5%, somebody do the math for me. How many trillions of dollars does it take to get $400 billion? Okay? $10 billion? $9 billion, $9 trillion, $9 trillion, $9 trillion. Is that what it is? About $9 trillion. Or maybe it's $4.5 trillion because it's been 2 years. But $4.5 to $5 trillion kept out of circulation, not made available for people to borrow artificially by a corrupt government trying to influence our marketplace. No wonder we're suffering in this country. No wonder the world's in the shitter because of people like this. They raised the rates because Joe Biden's feckless policies undermined the energy market and spooked investors, driving up the cost of petroleum, driving the cost of everything. And then Joe Biden's endless spending, $7.4 trillion federal budget, $2 trillion in deficit, sucking $2 trillion of borrowing out of the capital markets that could be used for home buyers, for car buyers, for businessmen, for entrepreneurs. But no, the federal government has to waste that money. No, unbelievable. The banks haven't necessarily passed on this windfall to customers. No, they haven't. I don't know any of my savings accounts that give me anything more than 1/10 of 1%. They're stealing our money. The Fed has been authorized by Congress, and that's who's guilty. Congress, these scumbags in the House of Representatives and the Senate, to pay interest on reserves and has done so since 2008. For many years, the interest rate was at about 0.1. So that's no big deal. That's well below inflation. And the Fed kept rates near 0% at the time. But in 2022, when inflation spiked to 9% annual rate, the Federal raised the rates. Interest on reserves creates a strong incentive for banks to only lend at rates higher than what the Federal Reserve offers because leaving deposits in their Fed accounts requires virtually no work and no risk. They get free money, $400 billion of my money given to banks. Why? Because of a corrupt cabal run by the Biden jackasses. Wow. The Fed is using this mechanism to tighten credit, depress demand, and thus ease price inflation pressure. Constraining lending also reduces the amount of dollars in circulation because banks de facto create new money as they issue loans. The new money then leaves circulation when the loans are repaid. Another mechanism is called reverse repurchase agreement or reverse repo, in which the Fed sells treasuries with an agreement to buy them the next day at slightly higher prices so they make a profit. Wow. Boy, this is Ponzi scheme here. The price difference is expressed by the Fed as an annual rate is reflecting the Fed's rate hikes, and that's at 5.3%. Wow. Reverse repos have dropped from a peak of $2.5 trillion in 2022 to $660 billion. So they sold $2.5 trillion in these bills, and these banks made 5.3% interest off of them on a day. Wow. Wow. Of the four largest banks, JP Morgan, Chase, Bank of America, Citibank, and Wells Fargo, only one appears to currently offer a high yield account. Only one of them offers a high yield account. So they're fleecing us. and the government is part and parcel of it. Unbelievable, folks. This is unbelievable. This is what governments do. This is what the South African government does, what the German government does, what the British government does, what the American, Canadian, they all do it. They manipulate the marketplaces to your disadvantage. Now, in South Africa, this will be turned into, oh, it's racist, colonialism. No, it's elitism. Nothing to do with colonialism, nothing to do with capitalism. It's mercantilist. It is elitists who do this. Can you believe that? We have paid $400 billion in interest so that we can't borrow money. Now, I can borrow money. My credit's impeccable. I can borrow money. It's not a problem. But I don't want to borrow money. Why would I want to borrow money? This is done by elites the world over to control you and me. We are their serfs. We are their biatches. Yep. Unbelievable. Can you believe this? Collusion between the Federal Reserve, the Congress, and banks to give money to banks. It's a subsidy. How else could you look at it? If you don't loan money out, we're going to guarantee you that you get a 5.4% annual return just by leaving it here. Deposit your money with us, and we'll pay you 5.4%. Why? Why? The banks should be competing in the marketplace for loans. Unbelievable. Can you believe this? It's sickening, folks. It's absolutely sickening. I mean, I don't know what to tell you other than it just turns my stomach. Turns my stomach. We are dealing with inflation that is just off the charts. 9% is bull. That's crap. I'm still paying twice what I paid for petrol when Donald Trump left office. Twice. It was triple the price. Now it's only twice the price. And Joe Biden and Karine Jean-Pierre. Oh, Lord, the president has lowered the price. No. Bull. I should have used a French Creole accent because she's from Haiti. She's America's most famous Haitian lesbian. Did you know that? I mean, she's always making sure we know she's a lesbian. I don't really care. I know Rachel Maddow is a lesbian, and I don't care. I know the WNBA is mostly lesbians, and I don't care. You do what you want to do. I don't care. 1,000 Rand, end of month, 30 days, you pay back 1365. Huh. Oh, what a shame, folks. What an absolute shame. Excuse me. I think I'm finally adjusted on my hours. It's not jet lag, but it's just adjusting on your hours. Jean-Pierre, damn dodgy. Yeah, she's very dodgy. Let's take a look and see if anything else has popped up on News 24 since we heard about the Gauteng McKenzie thing you're talking about. Nope, same stories. Same stories. Brazil is to blame for all the fraud complaints? That's interesting. Let's see what they have to say. Standard Bank, that's from yesterday, but that story is still trending today. 107 likes, that's a little bit better, folks. Thanks for that. Yeah, anyway, man, oh man, I'll tell you, it's crazy. Hey, listen, folks, it is 82 degrees, which is almost perfect for a lot of people. The wind was blowing this morning when I walked back from the car, the mechanic shop, and it was, let me see if I've got a message here, because I'm waiting for. Sorry. Sorry. Just looking. I thought I had a message here. Yeah, we thought Genentaki was bad. Oh, no, Hendo. I knew Genentaki was bad. But Karine Jean-Pierre is just a step worse. I mean, the Biden regime, everything they do, every step they take gets progressively worse. Progressively worse. Isn't that funny? Cold, still missing, down 9 degrees. 9 degrees is heaven. I love 9 degrees. 82 degrees here. So what is that Celsius? That's about 23. So as we get older, we stop producing melanin, so sleep gets disturbed. Melatonin, yeah, we do. We also stop producing, yeah, and that's one reason why our hair tends to go gray, because we're not producing that stuff anymore. Although you can see I've still got plenty of it here, the right color. But yeah, our hair tends to go gray because we're not producing that stuff anymore. We have a finite amount of it, which is crazy. I didn't know that we can produce. Interesting. And over time, you don't produce anymore. There's a lot of things that happen over time, folks. The lenses in your eyes become hardened over the years, and that's why people want needing reading glasses, because they can't shift and focus as well as they always did. They're not supple like they used to be. Nothing you can do about that. Over 90% of people over the age of 50 have what is known as presbyopia. Presbyopia is when you have to read reading glasses because you can't see up close. You have to pull these bad boys on to read up close. Not quite as sexy with them, is it? Not ready to embrace, thanks. Color it is. Demi. Well, I could always dye my hair. Go back to my strawberry blonde days. I wonder what that would look like, strawberry blonde. But it's so obvious when it's dyed, so. Yep. Yeah, it's true. It's true. We produce less of it, and it has an impact. We produce a lot less of everything. The telomers in our DNA, they get frayed, and that's why you get wrinkly skin because you can't reproduce. And that's why you shrink up and get hunched over. Yeah, things just don't work the same after the age of, well, really once you reach maturity, it's really just a long, long path of slow changes. Yep. Hendo says, what hair? He's talking about what hair? Dude, this is my hair. What are you talking about, Hendo? Fun times, and we don't even get a refund. No, we don't get a refund. I told you, folks, I said, if governments want to do people a favor, every government should be producing a manual that they give to people. It says things that stop working when you turn 50. They should do that. They should tell people things that stop working when you turn 50, but they don't. Life sucks when you get old. I don't know about that, Malcolm. You also have wisdom, and it's kind of neat. Everywhere I go, people are always like, Yep. It's, and I people calling me sir all the time, and I'm talking about civilians. It used to be just military that said sir. The truth is always unsaid. It's raining. James, where is it raining at? It's not raining here. It's beautiful and sunny. It's absolutely gorgeous here in central Pennsylvania today. A stunning day. Boy, I wish I could have a bri. Yeah, I'm looking for where there's 84 degrees, and let's see what that is in Celsius. I forget. Feels like 88, though. That's a bit warm, 88. 84 is probably pushing it, so change that to, Oh, this is funny. The map, you got to see this. Okay, I'm going to have to show you this because this is comical. 84 is not hot. 90 is hot. But look at this map. Watch this. 76 is perfectly pleasant. That's normally what used to be like green. But check this out. This is they just try to hoodwink us. Look at this. It's all red, and look at that. Oh, horrible temperatures. What a crock of manure. And they've got little arrows like it's rising. What a crock. Let's see how far it goes out. Here we go. Look at that. Ooh, look. Ooh. Oh, look at the whole world is on fire. Look at that, folks. Nowhere is it cold except the ice caps of Greenland and down the Antarctic. Look at this. Look at this. Oh, look at that. Oh, what a crock. What a crock. They're saying in South Africa where it's 48 degrees that it's green. That's cold. 44 degrees. That's not green. That's blue. What a crock. This is what they do to us. Oh, man. They're so demented with their climate change religion. It's unbelievable. They just kill me. 84 degrees. It's going to be higher over the 4th. Going to be 87 tomorrow. Today it'll hit 87, so I guess it's the same. 91 on Friday. 92 on Saturday, and then it starts heading back down. Tuesday we're supposed to get partly cloudy skies. Anyway, yikes. Anyway, it's beautiful. The relative humidity is 40% outside right now. Visibility is excellent at 9.9 miles, 16 miles of visibility. That's pretty good. There you go. Anyway, so they're just really. What is this? Hang pennies in a bag. What's that all about? Anyway, they just try to hoodwink us with their weather crap. Flip after 50 loads change. Been a 5-year adaptation, still discovering. Yep. Reason for skin color is because the change in intensity of ultraviolet light from place to place. Well, that's what develops skin color. That's correct. But your DNA, you inherit it. Why can't you have a bri? A bri off of mobility. I can have a bri. I just don't do it. I've got 2 grills out there. I haven't had a bri in a long time. I've got charcoal out there, but it's been sitting there for a long time. 3 cold fronts coming our way to Cape Town for loads of snow. You're getting snow in Cape Town? I want to see photos of that. I want to see photos of your snow when it happens. All right, so a lot of people disappeared after I did the news. What's that all about? You just fair weather fans? Clearly need glasses too. Can't type. Yeah, no, Debbie. It's listen. I mean, I'm good. Today I can read. I can read anything. I can read the stuff up close. But It's just it isn't always there. It's getting progressively worse. Used to be it was an occasional thing now, but anything that's at arm's length, not even arm's length, half the arm's length, I can read that. So up to here, I can read this clearly, but this gets to be a problem. It's because the lenses can't focus properly. So anyway, such is life. Such is life. You know, there are worse things, you know. Alive, that's what matters, right? That's what matters. Yep, we've lost a lot of people along the way. A lot of my viewers have died. A lot of people who we interview, some of the people we've interviewed have passed on. It's kind of sad, but it's the march of life, you know. It's not the penguins pooping. By the way, I'm wearing a South African t-shirt for those who are curious. It's a wildebeest. There you go. Elkeman Senator. Yep, wildebeest. Nice shirt. Map is incorrect. It's freezing cold in Cape Town. I told you, Monray, that's bogus. They're just trying to mislead the world. They're just trying to mislead the world, saying that that's like hot, 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 hot. Me soul on fire, singing hot, hot, hot. Oh, my goodness. Hey, what's the deal? Why has the Cranberries song become so big again the last few years? That song is 15 years old, In Your Head. In your head, in your head, zombies, zombies, zombie. Why is that song so big? It's taken off. Debbie's beekeeper passed away today. I'm sorry to hear that. Rest in peace, Keith. Yeah, why is that Cranberry song become such a big thing at sporting events? I don't get it. I don't get why it's become such a big deal. But anyway, that's just me. I'm not getting it. So anyway. Hey, does anybody else keep those earplugs when you get off the planes? You ever do that? I mean, they're not going to give them back and put them in people's ears, right? So I wonder if that actually works. Probably should work in my... No, I never have to buy earplugs, just fly in planes. Just take them with you when you leave. Shh, don't tell Delta. Yeah, don't tell Delta, folks. Yeah, anyway, so, hey, 113 people here. Listen, since I'm going to be up again in the next hour for Panyazi Lasufi, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this one up for now. Maybe they think that should be practicing for the zombie apocalypse. Yeah, maybe. I'm going to wrap it up, try to get a little bite to eat before the next hour, and I'll be back at 8 p.m. South Africa time for Panyazi Lasufi's announcement of who his cabinet's going to be. All right, Zombie is a sing-along song. It is a sing-along song, I know, but I mean, but why is it? It's like it's become so big recently. The South Africans especially love to play at sporting events. Anyway, you need a he's bung. All right, Neil, how's it going, Neil? Erasmus Herbst, Fall. It's a song about war. I know it's a song. It's not a song. It's a song about the troubles in Ireland. I know what it's about, Grasshopper. But why is it being played at sporting events? I guess because it's catchy. Anyway. 2 Egyptian geese that visit every morning, gone AWOL. Oh, that's not good, Sedgefield. Somebody eat them? Egyptian geese. You're very welcome for the news, and I will catch you guys back here in about an hour. If you want to come back, you're welcome to do that. Looking forward to it. Be sure to hit the like button on your way out the door. We appreciate it, and we'll catch you here shortly. God bless, and take care, folks.